I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Longer and Harder, the show on the internet where we take a subject and we go deeper. How are you all doing today? Hope you all are having yourselves a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Oh, goodness, everything's off. I didn't turn anything on. We don't need... We'll do that and that and that. I don't even think I have Beer of the Week set up. Everything's slight mess this morning, but when is it not? Hello, Micro. Hello, Geo. Hello, Tech God. Hello, Awkward Pasta. And Luke Filewalker. How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having yourselves a wonderful, wonderful Sunday afternoon. Hello, Ugly German Truths. How are you? So we got things. I was gonna try at first to make this be like a not talk about rationality rules kind of day, but that's not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen, guys. We're gonna talk about rationality rules again today because, you know, why not? Why not? And I'm trying to find Beer of the Week as I do this because super professional R&D is definitely on top of that. I don't even know where I put Beer of the Week because that's last week's Beer of the Week. That's not this week's Beer of the Week. Where's this week's Beer of the Week? Who knows? Who even knows anymore? I certainly don't. Oh God, I am way off on things here. So I am surprised by the lack of idiots in the chat as well. Oh, first things first. If Evan, if you are here, Evan Williams, if you are here, let me know so that I can get you your boobs because you donated. Thank you very much for the $1 super chat. I didn't see that there was a message attached to that $1 super chat. Let me go back, but nope, there was just a $1 super chat, and I will take it. Thank you very much, Evan, for doing that. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're in the chat, let me know, and you can get your boobs. Otherwise, everyone else is gonna get your boobs. And while I appreciate you buying boobs for everyone else, it seems a little unfair. So you let me know if you're in the chat, and we'll give you a couple minutes. With that said, we have Beer of the Week set up. Housekeeping. We're gonna just like jump into things before the chat gets full of stupid. And we'll Hobbs is sitting over here being very adorable, so we'll hopefully get a look at him rather than me the whole time. Hello, Ark. How are you? Welcome to the show. Okay. Housekeeping. As you can see, we are doing a fantastic job. Every goddamn time. A fantastic job with our new computer funds. We are getting really close. 88%. We're really close to 90%. We're gonna add the dollar that Evan Williams added onto that, and I will put in the same amount that you all put in for super chats and donations. I put in the same amount. So thank you very, very much, Evan, for doing that. We're gonna do that as well. Hello, Saverus. How are you? Thank you. Because you're here, Severus, and I'm sorry if I say that wrong, Severus. You all should check out Severus. He's got a really cool channel. He's very much so lacking. I think you have a fairly new channel. It's very much so lacking in subscribers. So you should go all check him out. He's got some really cool videos. He's got a really good video on rationality rules, and he tackles it in a very different way than like me at Essence of Thought have been tackling. And he actually talks about sports and what fairness in sports mean, which is something that I never tackled because sports aren't a passion of mine, so it's not like I can tackle it, but it's very obviously a passion of his, and it's a very well done, very well researched. Definitely go check him out, guys. He's got a really good content, so go check out his channel. We can tell that I can't pronounce anything or that I don't know anything about sports because all the way. It's like he's ignoring me. I am ignoring you, movie Vertigo. Sorry, I know you were there. I said hi earlier and I forgot. Hello. Okay. So with that said, yes. Computer Fund doing every goddamn time. Computer Fund doing fantastic. Thank you all for donating. If you do a super chat or donation, I will put in the same amount so that we can get to our goal super quick. Evan Williams does not look like he's here, so. We're just gonna get his boobs for him. So we will, Streamlabs is not up and going yet. Ooh, that's not good. So we'll try to get that up and going here in a second. We can get his boobs. And if you do donate, you get boobs because we are sexist assholes here. And butts. Mostly for, again, not opposed to having male butts on there, but no one's asked for them. So they're not on there because people haven't asked for them. But if you want them, let me know and we will do that. Okay, just go away. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, everything's just not working today. Along with that, the other bit of the thing that I do every once in a while. The other bit of housekeeping that we have to do is we have a new patron. So thank you, Dora Kuhn. I think that's it. For becoming a patron. Always appreciate new patrons all the time. You also get free boobs. We're gonna start off the day with boobs, and it's gonna be fantastic. Dora, if you are in the chat, let me know. You get free boobs. So for becoming a patron, thank you very much. Okay, so we got that set up. So we are gonna ask Google to let us. Movie R&D is on screen, isn't he? I don't know who's on where. Okay, we're gonna start off with Boof. We're gonna ask things. Everyone should remember that this fund is not going towards the computer; it's going towards a Mac. That is also true. It is going towards a new Mac. But it really, like, my Mac is. There's nothing wrong with my Mac. If I wasn't doing the things that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make videos, I'm trying to do live streams, I'm trying to do all this other stuff, and my Mac is just, it's 10 years old. It's just been around the block a little too long, and it just can't handle it anymore. I think it did well for 10 blocks, for 10 years. I think it did great, fantastic. It's just, it's been 10 years. It hasn't been updated in 10 years. I need a new one. I don't need a new one, I shouldn't say one, but a new one would help less laggy things. My computer wouldn't crash whenever I try to open OBS. That might be an OBS problem and not a Mac problem, because OBS is notorious for just being OBS. All right, with all of that said, we gotta pick boobs for Evan, and we gotta pick boobs for Dora. And well, I'm gonna wait for Dora to get here, or Evan to get here, maybe. But Evan, you've had your chance. I'm sorry. Pick a number between 1 and 36. We'll see what Google has to say for us. That is not at all. Can you not? Pick a number between 1 and 36.
Here's a random number, 4.
4. We get 4 today. Isn't that amazing? My Mac for editing wouldn't be terrible, to be honest, but I have a PC for gaming. If I thought gaming was worth it anymore, I have my my opinions about modern day gaming. Thank you very much, Evan Williams, for your wonderful $1 donation. Those are for you. Thank you very much. We're gonna give Dora a bit of time, see if they show up and whatnot. Okay, so does it have to be an Apple? ThinkPads are less expensive and more performance. This is entirely for streaming video stuff. I want a desktop. I like my Mac. We're going to stick with it. Okay, now that we've had that Mac discussion, like we do every time that I talk about money, let's move on to Beer of the Week. Beer of the Week, we have this lovely beer from 5618 Brewing in Lincoln, Nebraska. I didn't go to Lincoln, but I found this one. They have a tap room here in Omaha, so I got to grab some and whatnots yesterday. I didn't mean to, but I was out and about at there was like a New Orleans festival or something, Southern Cajun festival thing, and I needed beer, so I went and got myself a couple of growlers. So this is one of them. I didn't mean to, because I was gonna try to do New Glarus beers all month long, but we already made a mess out of everything. Everything's already a mess, so we might as well go with it. This beer is called As Cold as Rice. It is a rice beer, no wheat in this. It's a gluten-free beer, so if you're gluten intolerant, this is the beer for you. It's actually really nice. I've kind of already had a taste of it, but we're gonna actually drink it this time around. It is a premium Asian style lager by 5618 Brewing Company in Lincoln, Nebraska. 4.73% alcohol per volume. It's very light. It's very, very light, but it's not piss water light. It's just very, very light. You should throw around a couple of wrenches. Rapid X and Booty are definitely good guys. All right, we'll get around to that. You like rice? I hope you do. We use the same rice in this beer as we serve at Hero. I don't know what Hero is. The smooth drinking lager is clean and bright, showcasing our brewer's talent and our amazing row water. I don't know what row water is. We built our water from scratch. You do? From this recipe to ensure the smoothest tasting lager out there. Okay, well, there we go. All right, so it's a growler or crowler. I think they're called crowlers, not growlers. So 32 ounces of delicious beer for us to drink today, and we have our new Glarus glass for us. Oh gosh, here we go. Oh, I can't open it. I can't. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna make a mess because that's what happens every time I open a beer alive. I make a mess. There we go. I did it. I did it without making a mess. Very clear, very light beer. See if I can pour it. Oh, look at that. I know it looks like it's piss water beer, but it's actually rather delicious. And super light and crisp. And look at that. That's not my favorite color in the world for beer, but for this beer, I will tolerate it. It is very nice and crisp and smooth, and definitely worth it. Oh, that is delicious. So, highly recommended, especially for summer. It's really great. It was fantastic yesterday when I was night. It's been really hot here in Nebraska. So, fantastic. Good choice. Very, very highly recommended. Let's go with a 7 out of 10 on that one. I wish I had a little bit more flavor. I've had other light beers with a lot more flavor. They also have a lot of fruitier beers that aren't like super sweet and fruity. They have like a brewberry is one of the ones that I had last night. They had a blood orange. Also, you can actually taste the fruit without it being overwhelming, and I love it. So very good. Hello Factor. Hello NANA. Hello Heat Shield. Hello Bodie McBoatface from Rapidex and Saber Tiger. Oh my goodness, so many people today. Okay. It looks like Asian pea. Oh, goodness. That's not good. Beer that looks the same way in as it does out is usually never a good idea. But, you know, it's summer. You gotta lighten things up in the summer. It's super hot. Also, I needed a beer for this stream that wasn't gonna kick my ass so that I could be, like, mostly sober talking about things and not, like, make a fool out of myself for 2 hours. But I also needed beer in me. So this fulfills that nice, like, middle section. All right. So with that said, we do not have a video menu for today. We do not get to pick. You do not get to pick. You do not get to pick what we're talking about today. I get to pick what we're talking about today because we are going to talk about Rationality Rules because he's... No, not him. I mean, he does, but not him necessarily. A lot of his fans have found my video and they've said a lot of stupid things. So we're gonna talk about a lot of stupid things that his fans have said. That's what we're gonna talk about today. And if we get done, and honestly, if we get done early enough, we can switch to a different. We'll try to have a palate cleanser near the end where we talk about a flat earther or Poland Morgan or somebody. I don't know. I have videos we can watch. We can watch something as a palate cleanser near the end because we will need it because just so much a lot of stupid. So it does mean I have to read, which is fantastic. I did like how I got to make a joke about my terrible reading during for this last video because I cannot read for shit, and that's just what happens. All right, so we're gonna read some comments. I think this is the first comment in the set here. Sorry, things are gonna get funky because I don't know where I left these comments. So, like I said, my computer died, and then I tried to like open everything, everything first. Okay, so this is the first comment that we got today. Cherry picked one study. Yes. Okay. So this is by Cecilic. I don't know. This guy. I'm gonna zoom in. Zoomed in. There we go. Gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay. You really are on the guest against the RR. I can't read and I can't write. I'm not gonna give you that much of a hard time about your writing skills. Just a little bit of hard time about your writing skills. But seems that you are over your head here and misrepresent his arguments and sources because yeah, sure, he dares to have an opinion. No, I'm a guest. Sorry, RD, watching the last bit of England in the Women's World Cup. Awesome. That sounds amazing. All right. So, things. Oh, NANA, thank you very much. We're going to have some booze right off the bat. Thank you, NANA, for that wonderful 666 donation, which is always appreciated because why not? Always the best. So, thank you very much. Enjoy the boobs. Remember, you can also leave a message when you do super chats. Not that you need to because you have a wrench, so you can do whatever. But, you know. So thank you very much for that. It's appreciated, especially right now when, God, we need these. Okay. The studies, not study. He refers to are in his document when we put his references. He does not refer only to this one study which you picked. He definitely refers to another one from which you exert is on the screen. Interpreting laboratory results in transgender patients of hormone therapy. You take only this one and then wonder from where he got the other things. As it seems you are a white heterosexual what? Sorry, I haven't even read the rest of this, so now I'm kind of in the what? As it seems you are white heterosexual phobic. I am white heterosexual phobic. I am white heterosexual phobic. That's a good one. I like that one. I'm gonna put that as my Twitter handle. I think white heterosexual phobic, and white heterosexual phobic videos sometimes. Why? Because you have different opinion as RR, who is in my knowledge white and heterosexual. Yeah, no, I entirely dislike heterosexual people. I mean I advocate. If you'd watch my videos, I constantly advocate for having white heterosexual individuals be banned from playing sports. Maybe they should start their own league, because obviously white heterosexual individuals have an advantage over not white heterosexual individuals. It's fucking stupid, by the way, Sasilik. You're an idiot. I'm like, for a while I was trying to be very nice during this whole thing because I know that Rationality Rules' camp is very much so filled with tone policing who if you don't treat them as nicely as humanly possible, like just pander to them and approach them with like the kiddest of gloves, they will entirely dismiss you. So for 2 months I've been super nice to you all, Cecilik, but no more. This is really stupid. This is some really stupid shit, my friend. And you're a bit of an idiot for saying it. So, okay. So with that said, did I cherry pick? That was a common complaint that I cherry picked. So we have with us, of course, the evidence, because, you know, it's what I do. When I say a thing, I back it up. Imagine that. So I do have, yes, we will continue that via VLC. We do have with us the video in question. So we'll watch the thing that we'll watch what Rationality Rules actually said, because, you know, that makes sense. It makes sense to actually listen to what is said and whatnot. Are they calling you gay? No, I don't know what they're calling me. I think because I guess they think that the only reason that I dislike, or not that I dislike, right? I don't actually know. I was gonna take a thing, but I don't know. We don't have evidence. Be nice to us. That's more or less how it works. Okay. Yeah, no, I did not ever say anything about anyone's right to do anything. Okay, so with this said, co-ed naked underwater basket weaving would be a fun sport that should be done by all. You know what I saw? Speaking of fun sports, and by fun I mean kind of silly. Use sports, whatever sports you want to sports. But I was watching. Well, I was at because I went to the tap room, the 5618 tap room in Omaha last night for dinner. They had the well, it was ACL. It was the American Cornhole League. If you don't know what Cornhole League, look it up and make sure you put like Midwest in your Google search, because I feel like that's also probably an innuendo to something else. But look up cornhole. If you know what cornhole is, you know what cornhole is. They had like an American Cornhole League, and they had like a world tournament for cornhole. Again, like, you sports, your sports, but cornhole, like that's I don't know if it's a sport. It's definitely activity. It's activity that people do. It's activity I guess is supposed to be fun. But I find it very odd that there was a whole league for cornhole. So that's a thing. Okay. So, yeah, look up the American Cornhole League if you don't know what cornhole is. I've said cornhole way too many times and I feel uncomfortable about it now. Okay. What the fuck is cornhole? Look it up, but be careful. You've been warned. Okay. Um. So we're gonna listen to what Rationality Rules has to say about the study that I called him a liar about and whatnots.
Studies that we do have tell us very clearly that
Oh, we're gonna go back just a little bit because there we go.
in this, perhaps it's fair to attribute the current large gap to societal and cultural factors alone. But honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay, so here's where we start. Just so you know, for those of you playing at home, at 15 minutes and 20 seconds is where we're gonna start this stuff. Popcorn hole. Ouch. Ooh, no. Okay.
But when it comes to the burden of proof in reference to whether or not trans women who transitioned after male puberty have an unfair advantage, I think that it depends on the sport.
Okay. So we got our setup, right? We got the setup that Rationality Rules has set up for us. When it comes to trans women who have transitioned after puberty, this he doesn't agree with the evidence. So this is where we're starting. We're gonna now talk about this, and this is the subject that needs to be that's gonna get covered now. Okay.
The limited studies that we do have tell us very clearly that HRT reduces their red blood cell count and hemoglobin to within the range of 46XX women.
Okay. And again, I'm going to try to move quickly through this because I already did a whole video on this one thing. Okay, so we're going to talk about hemoglobin. So this study here, the study that you guys, you got to remind me that I'm not actually showing the video. You guys get to listen, but there's no video. R&D, you are useless. I am useless. R&D is useless sometimes. Thank you everyone for agreeing with me. I forgot to switch this over to that. Over to this. So sorry. I got too excited. Talking about cornhole distracted me, and I apologize. So the sports socket, I would fail national youth games, even women and girl standards, because I'm a wimp in that regard. Even nowadays, I fail at sports hard. Yeah, no, I am not sports. XX women, did they karyotype all the participants? I think in this particular study they might have. So here's the study. So okay, setup. When it comes to trans women who have transitioned after male puberty, as Stephen has pointed out, this is the studies, and he said the limited studies that we have show, and then he shows this nice little screen here, where he shows the result of one study, which is great. I'm glad that you're using in this one study to give him the fairest, biggest benefit of the doubt, is an actual study that compares trans women to cis women. So it is actually, I'm gonna make this as big as I can, which is this study. Transsexuals and competitive sports. And by the way, I'm not sure if I don't know the rules about apologizing for this stuff or not. Transsexuals is not the appropriate term, but this is an old study from the early 2000s, so they used the term transsexuals, so I use the term transsexuals along with them. Not because it's the appropriate term, but because it's the term that they use. But it's not the appropriate term for this. Transgender is now the appropriate term. It's time change. Yada yada yada. Right, but this is a peer-reviewed study. It's peer-reviewed scientific study. Yay, one. That does actually compare transgender individuals to cis individuals. So on that front, we are good. We are good so far. So far, Stephen has not failed too badly, and I'm trying to find the study on my computer set. There we go. Okay. Whoop. Sorry, making a mess. Okay, so this study, what was the question about actually testing? There's possible that they tested. I'd have to look through their actual like procedures, but I think they actually did. So I wouldn't put it past them micro on testing the actual like which the karyotypes the thing they actually might have done it. Okay, Micro's looking now. Okay, so of this study, right, that's the one he's citing, and you can tell. So by the way, the reason that I bring this up is you can tell that this is the study that he's citing, because he's got the results section there, and the results section is oh, sorry, this one study, he's got this table there, which is this table here. He's got a table in his video that matches up with this table, so you can look at it. The figure 1. Oh, let me get that a little bit higher. Figure 1 right there is, so this is the study this is one of the studies he's talking about, right? And you can match that up pretty well to the study that he has, and he shows right there in the corner. So this is how I know that this is the study he's referring to. And then the other study that he's referring to, I had to look up my notes on that one, what the other results are from, but they're from a different study that does not the test hemoglobin, which I think I have notes. I do have notes on like all of this. Oh goodness. Sorry, now I have to look at my notes exactly which one he's referring to, because I wrote all the things and forgot all the things. Oh no, my notes are over here. My notes are not in my book; they're in a Word file. Because I did actually look up all these fun things, and it's great. So the one that he's talking about hemoglobin, is, if I remember right, not sports and cultures. Where is it? It's an analysis between analysis and guides, fiber type. It's, I think, interpreting laboratory results in transgender patients on hormone therapy is the other one, which I will show you a clip of here. And so this is the other study, the one that he shows on the other side of his video is a study, and I will show you the source. I'm trying to be as thorough as possible, because apparently this was a big issue that people had, is again, that I'm interpreting. So it's number 34 on his list, which is called Interpreting Laboratory Results in Transgender Patients on Hormone Therapy. So that's the other like source that he's citing at the same time. So these are the two sources that he's citing while he's talking about transgender athletes. Those are the two. So the one, though, the graph on the right is from transsexuals in sports, and the one on the left, the results of hemoglobin and whatnot, is from interpreting laboratory results in transgender patients on hormone therapy. Okay, so only one of these studies, the one on transsexuals in sports, actually compares transgender individuals to cis individuals. The other one doesn't. The other one just gives you kind of like results. Like, pretty much all it says is if you go through hormone therapy, these are kind of some of the results that you get, and you can kind of see it there. The hemoglobin, low density lipoprotein resembles female values. Oh, go away, neighbors. Neighbors are yelling. They are the worst. Okay. And so those are the two, right? But the thing to remember is that only one of these, one of the two that he's showing, is actually comparing trans individuals to cis individuals. Oh, okay. So this is the study that I cherry picked, or the part of his video that I cherry picked, I suppose. I don't know. But there you can see the two that he did pick. All right. With that said, moving on. Whew.
That it dramatically increases their body fat, and that it significantly reduces their muscle mass. However, these...
Okay, so... sorry, goodness gracious. Okay, so the two studies that he showed, again, just talked about those. He says dramatically... What did he say? Dramatically increases... Bam.
I think that it depends on the sport. Studies that we do have tell us very clearly that HRT reduces their red blood cell count...
Red blood cell count.
And hemoglobin to within the...
And hemoglobin.
Range of 46XX women.
Okay, so red blood cell count, hemoglobin. That's where we're at.
That it dramatically increases their body fat.
Dramatically increases body fat.
And that it significantly reduces their muscle mass.
And significantly reduces muscle mass. That's what we're at, right? And you can see, and I'm not sure if you can necessarily see it on the results that he shows, but the results that he shows, the two ones, one comes from that one study, interpreting laboratory results of, and I could probably, I should probably have it pulled up over here because I have everything pulled up. I will try to actually pull up the study on my computer here so you can actually see that one and see exactly what it talks about. But you can see the results that he's showing there, which are hemoglobin. Oh no, everything dies. Everything dies whenever I open Google Chrome. Google Chrome kills my Mac. Donate, please, so that this doesn't happen all the time, because it does make my life a little bit more difficult. And thank you, all of you who do donate. Speaking of which, should we take a quick break to look at boobs? The sentences that I say during the show. Because we still owe Dora-kun, who has not shown up in the stream, but, you know, we still owe Dora-kun some boobs. And I don't want to boob without her, or him, because I don't know your gender. I don't want to boob, but we might have to, one, as a cleanser, and two, just because, you know, I do owe somebody them. I think I owe two people boobs who have not shown up at streams. Oh, I'm trying to get my computer to do things, and it's not doing things because I'm a giant mess. Okay, so results: hemoglobin, hematocrit, and low density lipoprotein resemble female values, while alkaline phosphates, potassium, creatine resemble male values. Triglycerides were higher than either the male or female groups. The remainder of the measures showed no difference. Okay, gosh, oh my goodness, all the things. I'm a mess. Remember, I am a wreck. And doing shows while you're a wreck is probably not the best thing in the world. So we're going to grab that study and we're going to show it to you over here. Bam. It's actually not the full study because the full study is behind a paywall. Oh, the request that I have doesn't exist. Why doesn't it exist? What? I was just looking at the study. Oh, there we go. It was just Google was struggling apparently. It's not the whole study because the whole study is hidden behind a paywall that I don't feel like paying through the paywall. So we're not going to pay through the paywall. Okay, so here it is. Here's the other study that he cites. You can see the results there match up with the results that he shows. So this is really about clinical. So background, this is super short, so we're going to read it real quick. Clinical guidelines recommend laboratory monitoring of transgender person on cross-sex hormone therapy, but gender-specific references intervals leave clinicians with a dilemma on deciding what is normal for each patient. The goal of the study was to identify consistent changes in measurements with hormone therapy and determine which reference interval is appropriate. Methods. Laboratory data were abstracted from medical records of 55 male to female patients on hormone therapy and compared with 20 males and 20 female non-transgender subjects. And then here's the results that Stephen cites: hemoglobin, hemocreatine, low-density lipoproteins, alkaline phosphate, potassium, creatine, and all that stuff. So those are the two studies that we cited. This is a lot of talking for two fucking studies. God damn it. I actually tried Micro. I did try to access this as a student. It's still behind a paywall. It's not part, like I most of these I couldn't actually get through even using my student credentials. I couldn't get to them, and I couldn't find them on any of my databases, so it's a bit of a shame. If any of you can and would like to share the whole study with me, hint, students and or masters of students who would like to share those things, that would be nice, because I would like to read some of these. But again, this has nothing. This does not compare transgender women to cis women. It just compares. I mean, it does. I should take it back. It does compare them, but it doesn't compare them on athletic performance. It compares them on whether hemoglobin and things were different or not. So it does compare them, but it doesn't actually say anything about sports. It says more about hemoglobin and all the results that are shown there, right? Okay. Oh, lots of talking. This is a very talky show today, but we like science. We like to science around here, so we're going to. Okay, so with that said, we're gonna go back to. I really should make like separate little tabs for all of these because I'm flipping back between things a lot more. Alkaline phosphate. It's an enzyme, not phosphate. Oh, sorry. Phosphatase. Phosphatase, not phosphate. Sorry. Okay, so just so we know, that's what these two studies are talking about. It have kind of gone over the results: hemoglobin, hematocrit, and then the other one, which we'll talk a whole lot more in a bit. All right. Nope, that's the wrong button. All the wrong buttons. I gotta move things. Everything's in the way and annoying. And
However, these same studies also tell us very clearly that HRT has no effect on their height, width, or limb length.
Okay. So, and here's the important thing about this sentence is that rationality rules Stephen himself said is, and I'm gonna repeat it because this is super important and it seems to be missed by absolutely everyone when it comes to this. This are his words, not my words.
Reduces their muscle mass.
So, listen to exactly what he says.
However, these same studies also tell us very clearly.
These same studies also tell us very clearly. So, he showed two studies interpreting laboratory results in transgender individuals, or what was it called? Nope, wrong one. Interpreting laboratory results in transgender patients on hormone therapy and transsexuals in sports. Those are the two studies that he cited before this sentence, and now these same studies. So we're referring back to these two studies. These are his words, not my words.
That HRT has no effect on their height, width, or limb length.
Okay, height, width, and limb length. Put it on our list of things. Height, width, and limb length.
Very limited to no effect on their heart and lung size.
Very limited to no effect on their heart and lung size.
Limited effect on their muscle fiber type.
Limited effect on their muscle fiber type.
And that it actually increases.
And then this is actually a different study. That it actually increases bone size things. Or something.
Their aerial bone mineral density.
It increases aerial bone metal density, which he shows a different study. This is not the same study now. This is a new study. Okay. So, these are the things. These same studies show an increase or no change in heart, lung, limb length, height, width, muscle fiber type. Those are what he said, that these studies do not show that HRT does not have an effect on. His words, not mine. So, with that in mind, that these are the things that he said, that again, the same studies Stephen said were in these same studies. When we go back to, and we'll start with the one that we have, the laboratory results of laboratory results in transgender patients on hormone therapy. Results: hemoglobin, hematocrit, low density lipoproteins, were equal to female values. Alkaline phosphatates, potassium, creatine. Triglycerides were higher, and the remainder of the results were measured showed no difference. That Stephen and an idiot who are defending Stephen at this point says absolutely nothing on limb length, height, width, heart size, lung size, muscle fiber type. Nothing in here suggests that was at all studied or used, right? Like, and if it was, then Stephen, and remember, Stephen grabbed the same results page, right? He grabbed the same results page that I am looking at now, probably because, like me, he doesn't have access to the full text. And so he's going to just grab the results that are available with the abstract, rather than trying to find the full text. So I am using the same amount of evidence that he is, because if this study said something, and Stephen read the whole study and has access to the whole study, and he read the whole study and behind this paywall there is a study that makes comments on heart size, lung size, limb length, muscle fiber type, then he would have shown it to us, right? If he's got the ability to have access to it, he would have showed us those results. He would have showed us that table. He would have showed us that graph. He would have showed us those results, but he didn't. Those wouldn't be live results, and that's also a thing. Those aren't being tested here, and those wouldn't be lab results. Those are entirely different things, which is all of this lets me know that you have, Stephen, as much access to this study as I do, and which is this page. This is the page that you and I have access to. So it's not in this study. It couldn't be in this study. Otherwise, you would have showed it to be in this study. So there's that. There's that study, which leads us to our next study. Because remember, we're talking about two studies. That's not the one I want. We're talking about two studies. One of which we just looked at, because Stephen, in his own words, these same studies show, right, in his own words, these same studies, and the two studies that he showed while talking about this were transsexuals in sports and interpreting laboratory results in transgender individuals on hormone therapy, right? God, this is a lot of talking. Okay, so with that said, let's read the results of this study. So, to be fair, and someone did point this out, and I think that is fair. This this study does measure height, and they have a little height there on their table, right? But so I'll give you a little bit of R&D was wrong on the height thing. They do measure height. They don't really comment on it, and they don't really seem to make a comparison about it. Okay, so going up to this study, they have their results right here in this results page. Okay, this one does have karyotype. Yeah, I figured they probably did, which is why, because it's from this study that he grabs the 46 XX. Sorry, I'm gonna put that up a little bit higher. The 46 XX, 46 XY. So I think they do karyotypes in this one. So I wasn't doubting that too much. But instead, we're gonna read the results, which are right here, and we'll highlight the results because these are important. And we might go back just to remind ourselves again what Stephen said, right? What Stephen said.
This is their red blood cell count and hemoglobin to within the range of 46XX women, that it dramatically increases their body fat, and that it significantly reduces their muscle mass. However, these same studies also tell us very clearly that HRT has no effect on their
and now let's make our list again. These same studies, no effect on
height, width, or limb length.
Height, width, limb length.
Very limited to no effect on
their
heart and lung size. Limited effect on their
heart and lung size.
Muscle fiber type.
These same studies, muscle fiber type, limb length, height, width, heart size, lung size. These same studies. What do these studies look at? We present our data. Oh, yes, okay. We present our data on the effects of androgen deprivation on male to female and of androgen administration on female to male on the following variables: plasma testosterone levels, muscle mass measured by MRI at the level of the thigh, and levels of hemoglobin and insulin growth factor. That's it. That's what they present on you. You can see the tables that they cite: plasma testosterone, muscle area, hemoglobin, and then what was this last one? I always forget the name of the last one, which is insulin factor, IGFI1. You can see it right there. Those are their results that they show. Further results that they show are down here. Height. Oh, thank you very much, person. I am not reading that. Thank you very much for subscribing. There you go. Welcome to the thing. Height, body weight, body mass index, muscle area, and testosterone. Again, none of this and I'm getting super upset. None of this has anything to do with heart size, lung size, limb length, width, muscle fiber type. In none of the two studies that Stevens said he was citing, the two studies that compare trans individuals to cis individuals, in none of those is there any mention of any of those variables. So, let's go back to you, person who I'm yelling at for the last half an hour. Where are you? Gosh. Mr. Sally Six, whatever your name is. Mr. Sasilik, who thinks that I am cherry picking, who thinks that I'm heterosexual phobic. He definitely refers to another study which he excerpts on the same screen. The two studies, we have just gone through them, say nothing of the sort. So there's that. There's that. Okay. It was a very long and tiring way to go through fucking science. Okay. So with that said, Dora, I think we need boobs, even if you're not here. Oh goodness, Dora, we miss your boobs. Please give us boobs. Oh, don't take that the wrong way. All right, so let's read through some of these other wonderful comments, and then maybe we'll be done with the video, or this topic, and we can move on to something more fun. Guy the Incognito, you, hi big brother, how are you? You have been a fan of mine for a long time, and I appreciate it, but you also say really stupid shit, buddy. You really do. Okay, this is just, I'm gonna also make sure, I got boobs. We need boobs. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Make sure that's showing. Okay, this is just cherry picking and hand waving on your side. I don't see any valid peer-reviewed science article in which disproves what he says. That's not how that works. Oh, should we talk about the burden of proof and how it doesn't work like any of you think it works? This, not making a claim. I am disproving a claim, right? I don't actually have to make counter the opposite of what Steven says, and it's something that Steven has been pushing, that people who disagree with him have to prove the opposite of what he says, right? This is very simple logic. This is like theism versus atheism logic, where it's I don't have to disprove God. I just have to prove that you're I just have to debunk your evidence for God. Like, same thing. I don't have to prove that the Earth is round. I just have to prove that debunk your evidence for the Earth being flat. I don't have to prove that evidence I don't have to give evidence for vaccines. I don't know, working to show that they don't cause autism, right? Like none of this. I don't have to prove the opposite. I don't. And so you, Guy the Incognito, have fallen into the same trap that everyone else has about the burden of proof. It's not on me. I don't have to disprove him, right? All I have to do is show that the science that he cites doesn't, well, at this point, all I've done is that the science that he cites doesn't actually say the things that he says that say, which we just went through, right? Like, it does not say the things that he says they do. That's already been shown. And of the studies that do exist, by the way, the very, very few studies that do exist to compare athletic performance between cisgender and transgender women, pretty much all come to the same conclusion of either transgender individuals don't have an advantage, or we don't have enough information. Those are like the two conclusions. So if we're gonna pretend like we are scientifically minded, then those are the two conclusions that have the scientific literature has arrived at. They have not arrived at anything else, and you cannot, because I've tried to look, and maybe you can, but until you do, you cannot find a study that says otherwise. Okay, where are we at? This is just saying that this just you saying that what he's got isn't good enough with no proper basis for it and pretending it's the same as the last. No, he actually lied. He genuinely lied about what was in the studies. I know that you're not actually live here, Guy the Incognito, but we just went through that. He lied about what was in the studies. Neither study on interpreting data on transgender individuals on hormone therapy and transsexuals in sports. Neither of those two things talk about heart size, lung size, limb length, muscle fiber type. None of them do. I showed the results. They don't talk about it. It's not me saying that he doesn't have enough evidence. It is me saying he lied about what the studies actually said. And I showed that he lied by showing the actual results of the two studies that he cites, and showing what he said they said and what actually what they actually said. This week and lazy for the 100th time. You're better than this. Drop your pet feud already. This isn't a pet feud. So I've gotten this a lot, right? I've gotten this a lot of people being like, hey, go back to debunking flat earth. Or somebody even asked me, like, why do you care so much about this? Why is this such a big deal to you? Why aren't you just sticking with flat earth stuff? This obviously doesn't affect me personally, right? Like I am a cis heterosexual male who is very sexually dimorphic. Like you're not gonna misgender this, right? You're not gonna look at my face and be like, oh, the guy with the short hair and a beard is a lady. You're not gonna misgender me. This does not at all remotely personally affect me. Neither does flat earth. Flat earth does not personally affect me. But the thing is, us baller bitches, we ain't a marginalized group, right? We're not getting discriminated because we believe the earth is round. We're not getting harassed on the street. We don't have extremely high suicide rates. We're not constantly shed on by people for believing that the earth is round, right? That's not something that I have to deal with. On the other hand, transgender individuals, and if you followed me on Twitter, if you follow any of this at all, you will see how much absolute garbage transgender individuals have to deal with. They're extremely marginalized. They get shat on constantly by people who should be supporting them. Rationality Rules, if he was really rational, should be supporting them. And it feels really dumb of me to just stick to flat earth when it has just about as much effect on me as the transgender are, and just be like, no, I'm gonna stick to that because it's easier, right? Because if I stick to flat earth, no one's gonna give a shit about that. I'm gonna keep growing my channel. I'm gonna keep doing, getting more subscribers, getting more patrons and all that. But there's an actual group of people who are being hurt by this, and to ask me to sit there silently and say nothing because it upsets you, fuck you. No, I'm not gonna sit around and not help a group of people who need help just because it's not convenient for me, just because it's not convenient for you, just because you miss my flat earth videos, just because you think it's a feud. Like, these are people who are actually harmed by the words and actions of people like Rationality Rules. And it's you have to stand up for these things. You can't just sit idly by. And standing up for, by the way, if you don't have to do what I do, right? You don't have to make a video and go on these giant rants about Rationality Rules. You don't have to stand up in the same way that I do. But even doing things like not supporting Rationality Rules, not supporting the other transphobic axles on the internet is enough. Don't give them your views. Don't give them your likes. Don't give them your subscription. Don't give them that. And that in and of itself is enough to help. Not giving someone a view is helpful. And I know it doesn't seem like it is, but those kinds of things are helpful. Not following them on Twitter, like, you don't have to be associated with them. And it's super easy to do that, and people don't bother to do that. Sorry, I'm getting upset. Hello, godless. Hello, godless cranium. How are you? Oh goodness. The easy thing to do isn't always the thing to do. It's true. Okay. Furthermore, the comparison between women and men isn't a proof, but a setup for comparative context. They are men transitioning into women after all. Then why? Remember, the argument here is women on. Sorry, not women. Yes, no. Trans women on HRT are have an advantage over athletic advantage over women, cis women. Why wouldn't you compare those two groups? I mean, I know why you don't, right? I know why you think this is a good argument. It's because if you do, you find that the science doesn't agree with you. That's why you don't. It is a terrible. HRT is not. It's not fucking aspirin, right? HRT is not like a thing that you take and it makes your headache go away. It changes so many physical aspects of the human body to go through hormone replacement therapy. That to say that cis men are the same as trans women who have undergone HRT, it's not just like insensitive in like the politically correct term. It's not just insensitive, it's scientifically incorrect. The chemicals in these two individuals' bodies are vastly different. The physical aspects that happen due to hormone replacement therapy make these two people vastly different than one another. And if you want to be honest about making this comparison, why wouldn't you make an honest comparison between the two groups? Why do you have to rely on comparing cis men to cis women and say that that's an equal comparison? You are not comparing apples to apples. You are comparing apples to oranges and then saying that apples are like oranges. That's what you're saying. It's dumb. It's not scientific. It's just incredibly, incredibly stupid. Okay. We don't want to compare the two because the left would have a shit fit. You don't want to compare the two? You don't want to I don't understand your comment. Sorry, buddy, I don't understand your comment. It could be my terrible reading skills. They are awful. So I don't blame you. I blame my terrible reading skills. So write that sentence like you were talking to an idiot, and then I'll be able to read it. Okay. So there's that. Do I have another one? I do have another one by the guy, the Incognito. Furthermore, Rationality Rules has already met his burden of proof. As he didn't come empty-handed, he got plenty of sources and articles presented for his case. No, he did not. Out of his 38 sources, one of them was a anti-trans website called Fair Play for Women, who were a bunch of assholes. So that leaves 37. Out of those, 12 of them were peer-reviewed scientific papers. 14 of them. I remember my script. 14 of them are peer-reviewed scientific papers, right? So that's way less than half of the 38 sources are actually peer-reviewed scientific papers. Because remember, we are talking about the peer-reviewed science. Out of these, four of them talk about sports performance, which is the whole topic, and only 4 of them talk about it. And out of these 4, only 2 actually compare trans women to cis women. So just say that he came amply showed up with ample sources is absolute garbage. He did not. He showed up with 2. He showed up with 2 sources on the actual topic that he's supposed to be talking about. 2 of them. And that was it. Everything else was fluff. Everything else, I'm sure, was there to make his sources look bigger than they were. And again, and the sources, the 2 sources that compare athletic performance of trans women to cis women both disagree with him. One, well, no, I take it back. That's a lie. One agrees with him because he does actually agree with the Joanne Harper, or the Harper study. I think her name's Joanne. The Joanne Harper study. One of them agrees with him because he agrees with that study. The other one, he fucking lies about. So out of the two, one he agrees with, the other one he doesn't agree with, and he doesn't agree with it because he lies about what's in that study. Yes, men changing to women and women will have different chemicals in the body. Saying that there is no difference is false. Yeah, that's pretty much it. HRT does a whole lot of things to your body. It really, I think at one point earlier in this whole giant conversation thing, I compared it to going through a second puberty, because your body goes through a whole lot of changes, and to pretend like it doesn't is pretty much what's happening here. It's just we're pretending like that doesn't happen. So no. So no, Rationality Rules did not show up with a bunch of sources. He showed up with 2, which are not bad sources. They're peer-reviewed journals, but they don't agree with what he says. However, your lying little cat here has nothing but hand-waving and simply saying it's accurate but not accurate enough. By that standard, lol. By what standard, lol? Okay, I said that about one. And not a peer-reviewed study, by the way. I did not say that about any peer-reviewed study that he cited. I never said your peer-reviewed study isn't accurate enough. I never ever said that. He had one scientific source that I said wasn't accurate enough, and it was because it was a booklet that talked about very generally the effects of HRT. And it was very, very general, very broad strokes. And I even showed excerpts from it, because one of the things that it says is muscle mass may decrease, I think it was something like that, and strength may decrease. That's how specific it was. It was very much like, it may do this. It may happen. And it's accurate. It's not wrong. It's not at all wrong about that. That it may happen. But I don't know how you can take that one scientific booklet and use it to make any decisions on whether you should ban transgender individuals from sports, based on a very broad, like, your body may change if you go through hormone replacement therapy. How is that hand waving? One study that I hand waved away. Okay. He didn't present anything that falsified an iota of what RR said. He lied about what was in the study. I don't know what else you want. I showed the results of the study. I showed what he said. He lied about what was in the studies. There. Gonna move on. Flat Earth math. I'm very tired. We're going to get through these comments, and I promise we're going to take a break, and then we're going to move on to a different video, and we're going to not talk about Rationality Rules for the rest of the Sunday, so that we can have a cloud cleanser of, like, a flat earther or something, because this is just... fuck. Your center point is that we shouldn't compare biological men against biological women. Instead, we should compare biological men with hormone therapy against biological women. Got it. First off, Flat Earth math. Flat Earth math. Flat Earth math. Biological men and biological women are not the correct terms. And I don't just mean that in the PC, like, use correct pronouns kind of way, right? It's not just politically incorrect, it's scientifically incorrect, my friend. The correct terms, and I'm gonna hammer this home as much as I can, is cis men and cis women. If you wanted to do any research on this topic, and you were trying to find a database on articles on transgender individuals, you would need to, or cis individuals, you would not put in biological men and biological women. Those are incorrect terms, not just politically incorrect terms, scientifically incorrect terms. So thank you for showing up, Flat Earth Flat Earth math, to this talk about sciencey things without knowing the scientific terms for the shit you want to talk about. That's super smart of you. And I'm sorry that I'm being so angry with you, but your comment is incredibly dumb. You are not even using the appropriate terminology for what you're talking about. If you want to talk about this subject, those cis men, cis women, trans men, trans women are the appropriate terms. That's how you that's how you actually talk about or research these topics, and the peer-reviewed literature uses those terms. So use those terms. Okay. Your center point is he shouldn't. Okay. You do realize that hormone therapy doesn't make biological men into women, right? What is a woman, Flat Earth man? Math. God damn it. What is a woman? Haven't you noticed the explosive? Sorry. What is a woman? This is actually a very interesting point that Essence of Thought brought up, and I didn't. Which is the idea that sex is on a spectrum. Which, like so many things in biology, we as humans, our brains like to stick shit in boxes, right? We like to have like nice linear lines. This thing is in this box, and this other thing is in this box. Biology doesn't work that way. Biology isn't that nice. Biology is a spectrum, where you can define things as much as you want, and you will always have an outlier who does not fit into your definitions. It's just how that works. Try figuring out what whatchamacallit. Try figuring out what a species is. Try biology is messy. Like, try to define a species, and you won't be able to, right? Like, you will set up a line and be like, this is a species, right? You'll say it's two creatures that can reproduce with one another, right? And you will have two creatures that can reproduce with one another, and make, a new creature, right? Whatever horses and donkeys make mules. Does that make them of the same species? Does it? Which lets you. So then you what? You're like, you say they will reproduce with one another, right? Which means that you have things like two crickets that are just from two different regions, but are nearly identical to one another. But because they sing different songs, they don't reproduce with one another. They're different species now under this new definition, but they are genetically identical. They just sing different songs, so they don't naturally reproduce because they don't naturally mate together. Like, biology is not a clean cut. This is the line, and these are the attributes that make you male, and these are the attributes that make you female. And I've seen this. This was all over my comments section. Somebody said, "You have a vagina, you have boobs, you're a woman." Really? Really? What about women who don't have boobs for whatever reason? Either they're small, or they get whatever the thing that the boob removal surgery, I forget. There's a word for that. Are they no longer women because they no longer have boobs? Is that how that works? What about men who do have boobs? I know a couple of those. Are they less men than they were because they have boobs? Don't complain about don't complain about boob size. I will try not to. Like, there isn't even when it comes, and I understand that humans are a sexually dimorphic species, right? That we have gender or sex differences, right? We have things that makes us different, right? Like, I have a beard, all that nonsense, right? But it's still not a thing that you can just say that you are either one or the other. Like, this is a reason why people say, or what people are starting to say, that even sex is a spectrum, because you have a lot of things, you have a lot of gray areas where even Rationality Rules brought out androgen insensitivity syndrome, right? Is that the one that's called? Where you can have the markings of what you would consider flat earth math, a male, but you end up having the physical attributes of a woman. It's just, we aren't really that sexually dimorphic. Thank you, Micro. Like, it's just this idea. You don't even know the fucking biology of the things you're talking about. We do not get classified like this, right? There isn't a line, a magical line that you cross and you're somehow now male, you're somehow now female. There is no such thing. We are a nice broad spectrum of possibilities, and this isn't me being like a PC SJW cuck. This is fucking science. You're a mathematician or a physicist. I forget what you are. You're a science teacher of some variety of flat Earth math. I think you're like a math teacher, right? Stick to that. Because you seem to know that fine, and you seem to know your math fine, but when it comes to biology, you don't understand biology. Okay. Haven't you noticed the explosive rash of these biological males athletes destroying the competition made up of women and girls? No. Such a thing doesn't exist, my friend. I would love to. And this seems to be a hang-up with all of you. Please cite me a peer-reviewed paper that says that there is a staggering amount of transgender females that are now destroying females in competition. Please cite me a peer-reviewed source. I would love it. Until you do, you have absolutely nothing to base off this conclusion. Not a thing. You have anecdotes. You have anecdotes of trans women beating cis women at sports. That is what you have. You have anecdotes of women beating other women at sports. That's what you have right now. Anecdotes are not evidence, and the plural of anecdotes is not proof, right? You actually need to show that this is a problem, and you haven't because it's not. Right? You have anecdotes of women beating other women in sports. I have anecdotes of women beating other women in sports. What's exactly your point here? Women beat women in sports all the time. Women are going to be pushing the world record of whatever sport until we stop doing sports. Right? There's always going to be another woman who's going to come by and beat a world record at sports. You don't have this. You have anecdotes. I think that all these years the debunking race have made people with no training in biology now think that they know biology. I think, slight tangent, with all this yelling, I think that the problem with skepticism nowadays, the problem with the big YouTube skeptics, the little YouTube skeptics, the people who are saying all this stuff is that we have spent far too much time debunking creationists, debunking flat earthers, debunking anti-vaxxers, that we have forgotten how to fucking science. Our opponents have been the little kids for so long intellectually, right? Like people who bring up really stupid ass evidence that we forgot what it's like to actually have an argument when you actually need evidence, right? Like all of these claims. Every single one of these claims made by Flat Earth Math, made by the guy, the Incognito, all of these need something to back them up, and they have nothing to back them up. Find me, Flat Earth Math, find me a peer-reviewed study that backups this claim that there's an explosive rash of biological males destroying the competition made of women and girls. Find me a peer-reviewed study that says this. Find me that. Until you do, you're full of shit. I would think that you are at least you would at least cock an eyebrow at something that isn't right. Tell me, Flat Earth Math, what is wrong? I really want to know what is wrong with a woman getting a new world record over another woman. I want you to answer me that question. What is wrong with a woman beating another woman at a sport? Once you can answer that, then we can maybe have this conversation, right? What is wrong with women beating other women in sports? Common sense should tell you that the mere hormone therapy can reverse a lifetime of physical advantage, right? Common sense? Common sense is not something we fucking use in science. Common sense is fucking stupid. Common sense is the thing. This is my favorite example about common sense because it's fucking amazing, and you've probably seen these things, which is like a dragon. So if you don't know, I'll go back a couple steps. If you take a mask and you like invert it, so that it's like the face, that the nose is inward, and you hold it up, it looks, and as you move around, it looks like the face is turning. And there's a really great toy that does this. It's like a dragon that like is actually like it's inverted so that like it's caved in, and then they paint like a dragon face inside. And as you walk around this thing, it looks like the whole thing is turning to look at you, right? Common sense would tell you that this thing is looking at me and the whole thing is moving to look at me. Common sense says that water is always finds its level, and therefore the earth is flat. Common sense is fucking useless when it comes to science. Like this idea, you, flat earth math, have now gone down the rabbit hole of using common sense, the same fucking tactic that Jeranism uses, the same fucking tactic that Anthony Riley uses. You are now doing the same goddamn thing, where you are now going to common sense as if it's the end all be all. No, you should fucking know better. You should know that that's not how this works. God damn it. This is why this whole shit pisses me off so goddamn much. Is that I see people who should know better. People who have been telling me for years and have been saying the same thing that I have for years about common sense is not a good basis for science. You can't necessarily trust your senses. You gotta actually do science. And all of a sudden, when it comes to trans individuals wanting to have the same rights as everyone else, all of this fucking skepticism just goes out the goddamn window, and we're back at common sense says this. Okay. And I suggest that you go back and notice how many times you use the word transphobic. Merely pointing out the unfairness of biological men committing against biological women is enough to brand someone as transphobic? Cheers. So, and maybe, I'm going to give you this one, Flat Earth Math. Maybe you haven't watched and haven't been part of the 2-month-long ordeal that has been dealing with rationality rules. And I'm gonna say this, and I've been holding off on calling rationality rules transphobic. Rationality rules is a transphobic asshole. He just is. He's been given 2 months to show himself to not be a transphobic asshole. I don't even know if I called him transphobic in my video. I don't think I have in any of my videos. I genuinely, and prove me if I'm wrong, I genuinely think this is the first time that I've called him transphobic. I've called his rhetoric transphobic because he says shit like trans women are here to take your medals. He says it in a nicer term, but pretty much says the same thing. He what was the thing he said? He catastrophizes this, just like you did, by the way, catastrophizes the effect of trans women wanting to participate in sports. He has had a lot of transphobic rhetoric. That's very different than me calling his rhetoric transphobic. Is very different than me saying he's transphobic. I think he is. I think he's a transphobic asshole, and I'll say that now. But I haven't said it up until now. So how about you go back and listen to my video about how I use the word transphobic, and it's not merely based on the fact that he thinks there's unfairness between biological men competing against biological women. It's not that. This is a much bigger picture, and he has shown himself. He has shown himself as a transphobic asshole. He's gaslighted trans individuals. He called anyone who called him transphobic, he called a hypersensitive bully. So the people who he actually hurt, right? The people whose his transphobic rhetoric actually hurt. He called them hypersensitive bullies. We need help. Please either wrench Rapid X or remove Douglas Pickles' rank. He's out of control. I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys deal with it. Mods, fight yourself. Okay. Okay. Any more? God, yes, more. This is... I scroll up. I'm sure that there's lots. I don't know. Pickles Douglas Pickle has been a mod longer, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna just let him do his thing. Do your thing. I don't know. I'm sure you said something stupid. Okay. I will deal with mod stuff later. Okay. With this said, we're gonna take a break, and maybe we'll read a couple more things. I need to go use the restroom. I've been refilling my beer a lot. We'll be back. Enjoy some royalty-free music and some fan art, and we will be back in just a moment with more of this fun nonsense. All right, everyone, and we're back with more fun comments. Hello, everyone else. I hope mods figure your shit out. I don't want to get involved. I'm not gonna get involved. I'm gonna put my foot down. I'll let. How about this? I'll let Micro arbitrate things if he wants to. Micro, I will ban whoever you tell me to. Otherwise, I'm not. It's not my problem. I have you all for a reason. Okay. We're almost through these comments. I promise. Hello, listeners. How are you? I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day. Welcome to the stream. I did see that you commented on things. And whatnot. I do see the servers are here. The servers are awesome. I'm gonna be like, hey, you should go subscribe to them, but fuck if they need my support. They have some great videos. I did thoroughly enjoy their the Joe Rogan one. I think that was great. The Joe Rogan, the alt-right Joe Rogan. God, I fucking hate Joe Rogan. That's good thing. I'm subbing for me. Okay, I don't. Everyone's unsubbed for me at this point. It's fine. Okay. R&D, please mod RapidX. Looks like RapidX is leaving. See you in channels that care about good people. I don't. Okay. Champagne Sunday. We are. This is our beer of the week. Which is from 5618 Brewing Company in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is super tasty. It's a rice beer. No wheat involved. Gluten-free because, why not to? Okay. So. Great stuff. Things to say about things and stuff. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, welcome back. We got our beer. We did all the things. Loved your video, Rationality Rules. Thank you. I had a lot of fun doing it. A lot more fun than I thought I would have, for considering how annoyed I was the whole time that I was doing it. All right, so with that said, we are back. Just a reminder, if you would like, God, every goddamn time, if you would like to help out with a new computer, we are really close to our goal. We are at 88%. That's actually going to be higher because we had NANA make a wonderful donation along with Evan Williams. All super chats go straight into getting a new computer, and I will put in just as much as you donate or super chat to help us get us to that goal even faster. And we are super close to a new computer. We can have less of this silly lag. Shows may start on time because my computer wouldn't crash, and videos get done. Yay! So with all that said, we got more comments to go through. I don't even remember how many comments we've read. I think we're more than halfway through. Let's hope that we are more than halfway through, because these are getting stupid. Okay. Why do you hate Rationality Rules so much? You feel the need to lie about him and his videos. Just because his video is isn't super positive about trans doesn't make him anti-trans. No. Okay, the first part, I didn't lie about him. Please, Guy the Incognito, show me where I lied about him. I didn't. He lied about the content of the studies that he cited. I have already gone through that. And he's not anti-trans because his videos aren't positive about trans people. Right? That's not why he's anti-trans. He's anti-trans because he's advocating for the removal of rights of trans individuals. More specifically, the right to compete in their experienced gender. And he is advocating to have that changed. This right already exists for transgender individuals. They already have the right to participate in many sports even at the Olympic level, and Rationality Rules is advocating for this right to be taken away. That's why he's anti-trans. He is trying to get people's rights taken away. That's of a specific community, and that makes if I were to advocate to have African Americans excluded from whatever pools. Why not? Right? Public pools. And I were to advocate for that, you would call me racist, right? Same thing here. If you're advocating for the removal of someone's rights based on absolutely nothing, then you are transphobic. That's just how that goes. I mean, there's a whole other reasons why Rationality Rules is transphobic, but that's one of them. Furthermore, the truth is more important than walking on eggshells around the trans community. What truth? I'm really curious as to what truth you're talking about here. Well, I can't swim anyway. Marty Rules can't swim anyway. There you go. What truth? The truth that the Rationality Rules lies about? Is that the truth? What truth? I really want to know. Find me a peer-reviewed article that actually agrees with Rationality Rules, and then we can talk about truth and whether it's more important or not. And just for funsies, because this is fascinating, right? Because all the people who are using the sciencey bits to be bigoted assholes. Let's talk about truth. So there's a fun book. It's a terrible book, and I call it fun only because I have no other way to describe it. Called The Bell Curve, right? And this book talks about differences in IQ test based on race. It's written by a white guy, so imagine which group of people has the highest IQ, or average is the highest IQ, right? Wait, I'll let you take a guess, dear chat, who you think does, right? So let's for a fucking second pretend that that this is right. Like let's pretend it's Asian. It is actually Asians. Good job, my girl. It is actually Asians. Let's actually pretend for a second that this is the science is 100% correct, right? And it turns out that African Americans, according to the bell curve, right, have the lowest IQ scores out of any race, right? Let's pretend that is the truth of the matter, that African Americans have the lowest IQ, right? What do you fucking do with that? Dude, do you, because the truth of the matter is, right, the truth, and all of this is hypothetical, so please, I'm sorry if you're African American and I insult you, I do not mean to. This is all hypothetical. Do you then say, oh, I want an employee who's a computer programmer, right? But I'm not going to hire any African Americans because this study says that African Americans on average have a lower IQ. Does the truth of the matter actually matter when it comes to being a fucking decent human being? No. The answer is no. It doesn't matter. Because being a decent human being is more fucking important than the truth of the matter, right? I am just flabbergasted that people are going down this, and I'm gonna call you out for this, race realism route of where if the science says that there's a difference between two groups of people, we are allowed to discriminate against them. Because that's pretty much the argument you are making. That as long as science says that there's a difference between group X and group Y, you are allowed to discriminate. Are you really okay with that? Are you really okay with discriminating with people just because the science says that it's okay? Because I'm not. I am not okay. Even if, even if, and I don't think this will happen, but even if it comes out somehow that trans women do 200 times better at running than trans women do, or that cis women do, I am still not going to advocate for removing someone's rights based off of that. Because people's rights fucking matter more. Okay. Painting with a wide brush is never very helpful. No, it's not. Oh, there's been a lot of yelling at this one. I am so yelly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're wearing headphones and I keep yelling. I really, truly am. Rights for everyone. Yeah. Science about what, why, and the answer to this question is how things work and are. It doesn't tell you shit about what you should do with it. What you should do. Yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't tell you what you should do with it. It really, really doesn't. We are going down race realism routes. We're going down eugenics routes. Like this is really like your argumentation, and I'm gonna go down that route. Your argumentation is no better than eugenics, right? It's the same fucking nonsense as eugenics is. It's the same bullshit where you're just like, here, let me measure your skull. It's obviously different than this other person's skull. Therefore, we should do something about it. No, right? Human rights are not based off of this. This is not how we do things. Go back to the Van Gogh flat earthers. This milking of fabrication scandal is of a good man makes you look bad. I don't care. I genuinely do not care. One, rationality rules. Stephen Woodford, not a good man. Transphobic asshole. Transphobic asshole. Just that's what he is. I don't care that it makes me look bad. I have, I think before the 2 months ago, before I started really talking about this a whole lot, I was at like 4,300 subscribers. Before I started this, I'm down to 4,100 subscribers now. Right, in 2 months, I lost 200 subscribers and I've gained some, right? Like it, but it's med loss med. It's a loss of 200 subscribers since I started talking about this. Thank you very much, Blow, for your wonderful super chat. Have some boobs, enjoy them in their wonderful glory. If you would also like to do a super chat, I will also remember putting the exact same amount of funds as you do, so that we can all enjoy this together. Oh. But thank you very much. For that wonderful super chat, my friend. I appreciate it. So yes, since I started talking about this, I have had a net loss of about 200-ish subscribers since I started talking about this. I did have an overlap with RR fans. I definitely did. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop, right? Just because I look bad to you, just because I look bad to Rationality rules of subscribers, just because I lose subscribers, I'm not going to stop. Because, like you said, Guy the Incognito, the truth is kind of important. So I'm going to continue to call out Rationality rules when he lies about the content of studies that he does. I'm going to continue to call him out on his transphobic assholeness. And I'm going to continue to call out anyone else who's being a transphobic asshole. And I'm not going to stop doing it because I become unpopular for doing it. Popularity is not my gain here. I'd rather be unpopular and do the right thing than be popular and be a transphobic asshole. Alright. What's the rest of this? Remember Clifford's principles. You probably don't. The obvious bias must be clouding things for you. They go like this. It is wrong always, everywhere, and for everyone to believe anything on insufficient evidence. It is! It is wrong, Guy the Incognito, to believe anything on insufficient evidence. Yes! You nail, hammer. You did that thing. You did that thing. Well, you are correct, my friend. It is wrong to believe things on insufficient evidence, which is why I don't go around advocating to remove the rights of trans individuals based on insufficient evidence, which is why I don't go around lying about the content of studies just so that I can keep promoting my anti-trans agenda. Because there is insufficient evidence to do so. So, fucking mirror there. Fuck. Okay. It is wrong always, anywhere, and for anyone to ignore evidence that is relevant to one's beliefs or dismiss relevant evidence in a facile way. It is. It is. So, of the of all of the fucking sources that rationality rules showed, my friend, let's apply this to the person you're fucking defending, right? Let's apply this nonsense. Of the evidence that he showed, of all the 38 sources that he cited, two sources compared trans athletes to cis athletes. Two of them did the thing that rationality rules set out to do. Two of them did that. One of them he agrees with. The Joanne Harper study he agrees with. The other one he lies about. But it's me, right? It's me who's ignoring the evidence. It's me, the one who's actually listening to the peer-reviewed studies that either say, like Joanne Harper's study, that trans women do not have an advantage in sports than cis women, which I agree with, and so does Rationality Rules with, and I am perfectly cool with that, or the other studies that say that the evidence is inconclusive, like the study that Rationality Rules cites transsexuals in sports, which says that there is insufficient evidence pro and con. That is what the studies that Rationality Rules cites say. It's not what I say. It's what the scientific peer-reviewed papers say. But I'm the one ignoring the science, right? It's me. It's me that's ignoring the science. Okay. Moving on. God. So, the only turd wrapped in glitter people here is the very video in front of me. Common man, you're much better than this. You're better than jumping like this on another decent tuber just for clicks and views. Shape up. Yes, because because it's been my channel that has grown, right? It's been since I started doing this, my channel has absolutely exploded. Oh wait. You know what has happened since Rationality Rules started talking about this? His channel has exploded. If we're gonna jump on the whole you're doing this for fame and whatnots, you know whose channel has been trending? Do you know whose channel has grown? Do you know who has gained more patrons? It ain't this asshole. It's Rationality Rules. And you can see that. Maybe I will. Maybe I will look it up on Social Blade because I fucking look this shit up. You know whose channel has grown over the last couple of months based on this issue? It ain't mine. I'll tell you that for sure. And I can show you my analytics, but, doesn't matter. It ain't my channel that has been growing. It's been Rationality Rules' channel has been going. If anyone has benefited from this controversy, if anybody has been doing this for the clicks and the likes and the subscribers and all that nonsense, it's Rationality Rules. Because he's been the one who has benefited from this the most. I am famous, it's true. Confirmed R&D identifies as an asshole. Yes, that I do. Okay. Oh goodness. Sorry, my computer just fucking died because that's what it always does. Oh. Oh, I am doing a thing. Okay. So, let's bring up the analytics of Rationality Rules, right? Let's see if we can there we go. So, where is my OBS so that you all can see this wonderful this how much I am doing this for the clicks and the views, right? Because I am, obviously. Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I be doing this for the clicks and the views? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Let's see. Let's go to April. Where are we now? Come on. Daily averages. YouTube progress graph for Rationality Rules. Oh, come on. Give me to now. Why don't you give me to now? We'll look at this instead, I suppose. So we got all the way to 610, which was 10 days ago. Why are you so backed up? Why are you so back? I want you to see. There we go. See full monthly statistics. See if we can get this. See if we can get this right. There we go. Okay, so we have 2 months ago would have been, so we're in June. Last month was May, so it would have been April, right? So we're in June, May, April. So what happened in April? We had a spike of subs, right? Here's April. Look at this. Look at this fun things. So who's benefiting from this? I'm really curious as to who's benefiting from this. Well, you can see mine. It ain't me. I'll tell you that much. It ain't me who's benefiting for this. Okay. So now I'm depressed at how much being an asshole is actually beneficial is incredibly depressing. Yay. Okay. So, with that said, let's finish up this fun little comment section. I do need a pewter bad. It is true. Thank you very much for all the people who have donated for the new pewter. Thank you, NANA and Blue and Evan Williams. Thank you very much. A long-term subscriber. Okay. As a long-term subscriber, ask, no, implore you to return the way you were. With intellectually honest video that doesn't start with lies and ad homs like calling a respectful tuber video a turd, etc. No. No. Fuck you. I understand that you're a longtime fan and we've had fun interactions and I appreciate your support up to now, but if you think that I need to shut the fuck up about Rationality rules just because he's respected, no. You do something stupid, I don't care what your status is. You say something stupid, you're gonna get called out on it. You say something transphobic, you're gonna get called out on it. It's just how this works. I'm not about to pull my punches just because the person that I'm calling out is a bigger YouTuber than me. Just because the person that I'm gonna call out, like, I'm not about to respect his clout just to appease you. No. If you say something stupid, this is what happens. Okay. Sorry, I was posting links. It's a peer review study debunking one of the articles that are used. Peer review. R&D already has that one. If you could still, I'll still post it. I'm not sure which. I think I do still. I think I do have that one. I will post it anyway because nothing wrong with peer-reviewed articles. Thank you very much for sharing. I don't not sure. There you go. Thank you always very much for sharing peer-reviewed articles. I'm sorry that you were not allowed to post them yourself, but that's just the way it works. I don't think if that posted correctly, but there you go. RR should be held to a higher standard, not a lower standard. Exactly. Okay. Three more. Except RR is right. That's why the U.S. Powerlifting Association has banned trans athletes. Why women in Connecticut are suing to ban trans athletes in women's sports. They can't win. The link doesn't work. Can you can someone post the correct link? Or Diamond, if you can. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce your name. You can either send it to me on the things or whatnots. On the Twitters or the Discord if you're on either of those. But the link does not seem to work. It is true. RD, your link is not working. It is not working. I don't know why. I tried to click on it. Let's get. We're gonna try again. This is important because your link isn't working. Oh, you blame me for this, but your link isn't working. I don't know why. I do not want. Okay. So, with all that said, I will figure it out. Thank you, Micro. Okay. So again, right, like the powerlifting association may in fact be banning trans women. I don't know if it's true. Let's pretend that it is. Is there basis for banning trans women? Is it based on any good reasoning, or is it based on bigotry? That's the real question. Also, I've asked you and you haven't actually provided us an answer, which is why I'm asking you now, because I have responded to that comment and the response, and I did not get a response on whether it was based on bigotry or not. You have nothing. You have nothing to back up this claim. Okay. This is the last one, I think, and then we'll be done. Oh, my goodness. How many of these transgender athletes do you think would have changed sex mid-career if they were winning Olympic medals as men? He is white. Right. And you're wrong. Accuse him of prejudice, projection, maybe. No. How many are? Where is your study, my friend? Where is your anything, my friend? Where is the anything to back this up? I would love to have that. Sadly, it is banning them. The evidence is laughable. It's banning them, and their evidence is laughable. I'm sure. So that's the thing, like, right? So let's go back to that comment real quick. Is that just because an association, right, with the weight powerlifting association has decided to ban women, does not mean they're doing it for a good reason, right? At all, remotely. Remember, we once lived in a country where African Americans were banned from playing sports, where African Americans were banned from going to school. Just because an authority has banned someone from doing a thing doesn't make it right. Thunderbolt 2. Otherwise, my friend, you would have to back up. You would have to be okay with the ban of African Americans from being in university. You would have to be okay with that because a university did it. They wouldn't do it for any stupid reason, right? Thunderbolt 2, right? It's not like people do shit for stupid reasons ever. It's not like authorities in sports, authorities in academia do shit for stupid reasons, right? So, by your fucking logic, we should be okay with African Americans being banned from higher education. We should be okay by African Americans being banned from playing sports, right? Because at some point, they were banned from those things, and obviously they had good reason, right? Obviously, if they're doing it, it must be done for a good reason, right? This is how stupid this shit is. Alright. Where's that one? There's my rant on that one. I'm ranting so much. I'm so ranty. How many of these transgender athletes do you think would have changed sex mid-career if they were winning Olympic medals as men? He is right, and you're wrong to accuse him of prejudice and projection, maybe. What do you mean, R&D? Sports society are infallible and sent from God? I know, right? So, and here's the crux of a lot of this argument, which is this is a good comment to end on. This is kind of the crux of this whole thing. That transgender athletes, right? People with gender dysphoria are going, or no, that just cis men, right? So cis men who are, I don't know, not happy with how they're winning or how much they're winning, are gonna pretend to be women, right? This is the fear. And this is very interesting that people always, that you make it so fucking clear, Paul. Because this is the fear, right? That cis men are gonna pretend to be women in order to invade female spaces, right? In order to invade the spaces of women. This, Paul, is the exact same argument used by people who wanted to ban, and still do, want to ban trans individuals from using the restrooms of their experienced gender. This is the exact same argument. You are no different, and you are no better than the people who want to ban trans individuals from using their assigned their gender experience bathrooms. You are no better, because that's exactly their argument. Their argument is, if we allow this, right? If we allow transgender individuals to use the bathrooms of their experienced gender, then men are going to pretend to be women just to go into women's bathrooms. How, Paul, is your argument any different? How, Paul, are you any better than the people who want to ban trans individuals from using their experienced gender's bathroom? How are you any better? You're not. You're legitimately not, Paul. You are doing the exact same thing. You are making the exact same argument that somehow men are going to be like, I'm going to pretend to be a woman for this weekend so that I can sign up for the Olympics and win all the medals. That's what you're saying, Paul. You are no fucking better. In my view, it boils down to hormones, R&D. If they are surgically only gender changed, then you shouldn't be allowed to play opposed gender sports. If it's a moral change, let them reason coming. So this is the thing that I have sort of not said, and I have not said it because I know what people will say. I don't actually care what the science says. Like, I care to the point where I'm willing to point out where people are wrong, right? But I don't. When it comes to this issue, I don't actually care. If a transgender woman wants to compete in her experienced gender, then let her. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if it's an unfair advantage. Like many others have pointed out, sports are not about fairness. We don't, for example, and I brought this up before, and I think it's worth pointing out. We don't set limits on how much money a country can spend on their sports, on their sports team, right? We don't set limits on, like, oh, you can only have X and Y Z equipment for training, because we want everyone to have everyone to start at the exact same point. We don't set limits on your metabolic rate. We don't set limits on your muscle mass. We don't set limits on anything. I don't actually care even if in whatever 20 years, 10 years, when there's more trans athletes actually participating, if it comes out that trans athletes actually do, trans women actually do have an advantage over cis women, I don't care. Just because the science says a thing doesn't actually mean that we should, like, science is a description, as we talked about earlier. It's a description. It's a why. That doesn't mean it's a should. That doesn't mean that we should do what science says that we should do. It's a description. The should part, that's a moral argument. That's not a science argument. Unless it's legit safety concerns. So, legit safety concerns. The sports that I understand the safety concerns for are sports like boxing, wrestling, what's the martial MMA, right? There's already rules in place for that, right? Like, you're not gonna have a 120-pound dude MMAing against a 200-pound dude, right? Like, we already have these things in place to set those limits. So I don't know. Like, you could potentially make more changes to that to I don't know, test for muscle mass or something, and so that you only have people who are within the same range of muscle mass or something for those kinds of sports. I could see those kinds of rules, right? But to outright ban trans individuals from playing sports, I don't think you will ever have an actual a legitimately good scientific argument for that. I legitimately don't think we'll ever get there. Okay. Okay. So we have gone through most of a beer. A can of beer, a giant can of beer. We have talked about a lot of things. We're just done. This has been a lot of yelling. Thank you, absolutely thank you to everyone who's here for all of my yelling needs. I gotta yell at someone, right? I gotta yell at someone. A big thank you for all of you for sticking around. I greatly appreciate you for being here for 2 hours of R&D yelling at Rationality rules. What kind of beer? You missed Beer of the Week, but we can talk about Beer of the Week again, because why not? Beer of the Week. What not? We have a beer by 5618 Brewing Company in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is called the As Cold as Rice. It's a rice beer. No wheat involved. Nice and crisp and delicious. It was fantastic beer. I love it. All the things. It was delicious. I'm sorry that this stream was less focused on the chat. I had a lot to say. That is a beefy can. It's a crowler. So thank you everyone for being here. A big thank you to NANA Williams, Evan Williams, and Blow. I don't know what to call you. for your super chats. It's wonderfully appreciated. I will put in exactly the same amount that you put in for super chat, so that we can get closer to our goal of a new computer. Big thank you to my patrons. Dora Kuhn, I don't know if you showed up ever, but thank you very much for becoming a patron this month. I greatly appreciated. Thank you everyone for being here. You are all just the best, and thank you for watching the videos and sticking around for all of this nonsense. Maybe a flat earth video next week. I don't know. We'll get to things. Thank you everyone, and have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week.